umaga po sa lahat. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I am Jmar Garcia of the National Research Council of the Philippines. Welcome to iShare, Stories of Inspiration and Creative Research. Pangatlong episode na po tayo sa second season ng iShare. Ang bilis po We've already featured the stories of 4 trailblazing scientists and researchers. Nako, balikan po ninyo ang kwento nila by watching the replay sa Facebook page ng Research Council. Just type in fb.com/NRCP ResearchPad. We again have 2 featured NRCP Achievement Awardees this morning. At sigurado akong maa-amaze na naman tayo sa kanilang stories of hard work and success. Mamaya po sa programa, ipapakita po namin ang kwento ni Sir Henry Adorna. Aakalain ninyong rockstar itong si Sir Henry pag nakita niyo ang kanyang long hair. Pero maliban po sa kanyang pagtugtog ng gitara, ang ating astig na academic din po ang bumuo ng Algorithms and Complexity Lab sa UP. Abangan po ninyo ang kanyang kwento. Pero bago po iyon, tunghayan po muna natin ang kwento ni Dr. Landon A. Ocampo. Sa mundo ng mga akademiko, bata pa po kung may tuturing si Doc Landon. Pero kung titignan niyo ang listahan ng kanyang mga nagawa, you'd think that he's years older than his actual age. Asian Scientist 100 lang naman at NAST Outstanding Young Scientist si Dr. Landon. But behind his current success is a story of a person who had to go through significant challenges to rise to the top.
I'm Landon Ocampo. I am the founding director of the Center for Applied Mathematics and Operations Research at the Cebu Technological University. I was born here in Cebu until in 1993, our family moved to Siquijor, and that is the hometown of my mother, where I spent most of my childhood. So I spent primary, elementary, and high school years there. Living in a remote area in a province, you don't spend your childhood watching TV all day or playing with your friends or going to malls because, of course, you don't see a mall there in the 90s. You don't see much cars or much tricycles. So you have to really walk from school to home. In most years, my brother and I had to walk around like 10 kilometers daily for school. I played almost all larong Pinoy. You know, we have games in our childhood: patintero, slipper kick, jollen. That's playing with marbles. But then we don't have much to even buy this stuff. Most of the time, I'm just watching over other kids playing these games. So what you need to do is that you need to help your parents work on the farm, do household chores, and understand that you don't enjoy the things that other kids you grow up with enjoy. Nevertheless, I find my childhood amazing. My father was a civil engineer in the DPWH regional office here in Cebu. Until in 1993, something happened, my father passed away. And then living without a father and living, because at that time, my mother was receiving like 300 pesos monthly survival pension. There are times when my mother and my younger brother, the 3 of us have to share 7 pieces of banana for dinner. And that is something, and that is an experience that I can never forget in my lifetime. And I told myself at that time that I would be an engineer one day. And for years, we don't have electricity at home because you have to study, of course, you have to study at night. Depends on the amount of kerosene left in our lampara. Despite all these things, you know, my focus to study, to finish school, and become an engineer has never diminished. And I have to tell myself that if there's one person who can lift me out of that situation, that should be me. In my elementary days, my teachers have already noticed my mathematical skills to some extent. I can still remember that I am representing my school in mathematics competitions with different schools in our province. So, in 2004, I took up UPCAT and passed my first choice. That was BS Civil Engineering degree at the UP Diliman. And then, I also took up DOST undergraduate scholarship exam, and then I passed. For some reason, because Manila is quite far away from our province, and if I would study in UP Diliman, so I had to transfer to Manila. So somehow I had to change direction, and then I ended up taking BS Industrial Engineering at the University of San Carlos under the DOST undergraduate scholarship. At that time, civil engineering degree is not part of the list of priority areas of the DOST scholarship. So I was forced to somehow enroll in a BSIE program rather than the BSCE program. So that's why I became an industrial engineer. That's where things started. After completing college, I worked in an industry for almost 2 years. My friend encouraged me to take up an advanced degree, a master's degree in industrial engineering under the DOST ERDT program. At that time, I can still remember, that was, I think, the second or third year when the Department of Science and Technology offered the program ERDT, Engineering Research for Development and Technology, for those local graduate scholarships. At first, I was hesitant, but after a year of persuasion by Dr. Carcasona, I then took up my master's degree. In the program, I revived my passion for mathematics under Dr. Nick Buenconsijo, who was the former Dean of the College of Engineering at the University of San Carlos. I applied for a Monbosho Japanese government scholarship for my PhD because I wanted really to experience studying abroad. When I sent a letter to the UST at that time, I was not allowed to leave the country for my return service because I have this so much interest to take up a PhD. I then applied for the DOST ERDT scholarship again, and then enrolled in the PhD in Industrial Engineering program at the De La Salle University. Okay, at the De La Salle, I was so exposed to research. I was introduced to the area of multiple criteria decision making. That experience was kind of a career defining, so that in several years after my PhD graduation, I'm still working out on several aspects of the field. Along with the mathematical skills of which my colleagues and friends know about me, to some extent, I am also associated with the design of mathematical tools to solve planning, design, and management problems in various areas of sectoral applications. If you notice in my Google Scholar and in my works, 90 to 95% of them are really computational, because in that kind of field, you just need this little amount of money, okay, to pursue cutting-edge research works. Maybe I can share research outputs with direct practical significance, and these research outputs are somehow highly recent. In 2020, while on lockdowns, my research team and I figured out a problem involving a COVID-19 response, okay, particularly in relation to the gradual revival of the economy. We theorized that that people would go to places only if they feel that they have minimal exposure to COVID-19. And what we did was propose some kind of a methodological framework that sorts out the perceived degree of exposure of tourists or customers to COVID-19. We did a large-scale online survey and reported our results in 3 published papers in top tourism and computing journals. Research is important because you can freely express your idea so that others can understand, so that others can verify, and then replicate them. I think that's the basic sense of science. Something that you can advance, and something that you can share to others, and something that others can verify for themselves. Right now, I'm in a place where I value scientific research in all aspects of my career, and I count the number of journal papers as a measure of progress. And this requires a lot of time. Theorizing and imagining creativity to advance knowledge frontiers. And these are things that really require you focus, attention, and time. I do triathlons. It keeps me motivated and keeps my patience, mental toughness, and endurance in check. For someone so introverted like me, it is something where I can find peace because doing triathlons keeps you alive in the moment. Like, just think of the moment. You're thinking about how far you can still go, your pace, how fast you are doing. You don't have to worry about tomorrow because your present self would be so much consumed by what you are doing at that very moment. So while you're running or while you're swimming, you cannot think about what will happen tomorrow because what you are thinking is really that present moment. And I often associate it with research, and I believe that it is analogous to doing science. Similar to doing research, triathlons will always be some sort of you versus you. The only hindrance to your success is really you. From my perspective, that's how science works. I involve different people over a span of 8 years, including my former students, colleagues, research assistants, and collaborators within the country and abroad, inside or outside my discipline. I think most of the challenges I encountered are associated with finding the right people who can make abstract reasoning about a problem and translate it into a mathematical model. Secondly, it is also challenging to train these people to express their thoughts on a scientific communication platform via scientific and academic journals. So you can see, if you try to roam around various colleges, various universities in the country, you can see people with huge potential. But I think our challenge is to transform that potential into research productivity metrics in which other countries are also counting. That's really a huge challenge for us. To be named as one of the NAST OIS is really very, very rewarding. This award boosted my confidence to push myself farther and led me to win other awards. And this is something that I look forward to for the next decade of my career.
I am Landon Ocampo. This is my story and I share.
In 1984, ang ating susunod na featured scientist ay lumipat ng college at kurso nang hindi nagpapaalam sa kanyang mga magulang. Happy ending naman ang kwento. Pero, anong klaseng tiwala sa sarili mayroon si Sir Henry Adorna para gawin ito? Let's watch this.
Hi, ako si Henry Adorna. Lumaki ako sa San Mateo Rizal pero pinanganak ako sa Quezon City. Sa kasalukuyan ako ay propesor sa Department of Computer Science. Nabibilang ako sa Algorithm and Complexity Lab. Ito ang laboratorio na aking inorganisa noong 2007 at ako ang senior member ng laboratory na yan. Ako ay nag-aral ng complexity theory, computability and complexity theory. Pwede kong i-claim na yun yung ginagawa ko. At in particular, pinagamit ko ang communication complexity sa pag-measure ng efficiency ng pag-solve ng mga problems na ang ginagamit ay sequential computing model. Tapos, isinalin ko ang konsepto ng communication complexity sa tinatawag na membrane computing noong 2009 na ang papel ay lumabas noong 2010. Tapos, meron din kaming ginagawa sa lab na sinisimulan ko yung tungkol sa quantum algorithms. Dahil ang quantum algorithms o quantum computing ay nabibilang sa tinatawag na nature-inspired. Pwede pa rin siguro siya masama sa tinatawag na unconventional computing model kasi wala pa naman talagang full-fledged na quantum computers na ginagawa. Pero yung membrane computing, yung P-systems is still unconventional computing model. So those area I put together unconventional computing models and complexity, in particular communication complexity also. Mahaba ang buhok. Normally, pag nagpapahaba ako ng buhok, ito yung time na naggagawa ko ng research. And then, natatapos ang pagpapahaba ko ng buhok kapag nakapag-publish na ako. At dahil ayaw ko actually talaga ang mahaba ang buhok, kailangan kong tapusin kagad yung ginagawa ko para makapagpagupit na ako. Nung March 2020, nakapagpagupit na ako dapat noon. Nag-pandemic, tumigil. Algorithm. Ang alam natin, ang algorithm ay recipe kung paano ibibigay ang solusyon sa problema, yung step by step. Kailangan yung algorithm na to, yung procedure na to, na finite procedure na to ay masosolve niya lahat ng instances ng problem. Hindi pwedeng some cases lang. Ang magulang ko ay pangkaraniwang tao lang. Pinili nila na mabuhay ng pangkaraniwan. Ang nais lang nila, ang sabi nila sa akin ay mapagtapos na kami. Dalawa lang kami magkapatid eh. Pagtapos kami dalawa, at tapos na, okay na. So hindi rin sila, sinabi ko kanina, hindi sila yung nagdidikta. Pero sa kanila, kapag dinesisyon na namin yung bagay, dapat tayuan namin yung bagay at patunayan namin na yung ginawan, ang decision namin ay tama. Nung elementary ako, ang teacher ko noon, si Miss Teresita David. Nag-aaral kami ng mathematics, tapos sinabi niya na kung pwede ako ng afternoon, every after classes, may exercises na gagawin. Akala ko parusa eh. So, masunurin naman akong tao eh. Kasi lumaki ako sa bahay namin nung sa lolo ko na ang patakaran ay simple lang. Ang unang patakaran ay sumunod at igalang ang matatanda. At ang ikalawa, sundin ang unang patakaran. Kaya sinunod ko yung teacher ko. So, nagagawa ko noon every afternoon. Tsaka binanggit sa akin ng teacher ko na merong quiz bee na gagawin district meet sa loob ng lugar namin. Nung nagkaroon na ng contest, mukhang nanalo naman ako. Isa ito sa mga nag-influence sa akin makita kung paano talaga ano talaga yung gusto kong gawin. Kaya lang kailangan kong isakripisyo yung mga robots dati. Yung Mekanda robot, Dimos ata yun. Pag Wednesday, Mazinger Z. Grandizer naman pag Thursday at yung Voltes 5 sa Friday. Naglalaro kami ng mga kabarkada ko doon sa lugar namin. Kasi lumaki ako sa San Mateo Rizal na malawak pa ang lugar. Ang mga aso ay nakakalat lang, hindi nakatali. Nandun kami sa isang tindahan ng kaibigan namin, kakasiyahan. Sa sobrang saya, naapakan ko yung aso ng kaibigan namin. Pagtalon ko, akala ko hindi ako nakagat. Ayun, yung pala nakagat ako ng aso. Ngayon, sa tagal nung pagpapaigi sa akin, wala akong magawa sa loob ng bahay. Nakita ko yung nakasabit na gitara ng tatay ko. Ayun, kinuting-ting ko yung gitara. Yung gitna yung centerfold ng chingle, minsan nandun yung chords. And then, tinitingnan ko kung paano nagpo-progress yung chords at nababago. So may pattern lang, may pattern pala siya. So lahat ata ng mag-aaral gustong mag-aral sa UP. Nag-exam ako ng UPCAT, hindi ako pinalad. So hindi ako nakapasa. Nakapasa ako sa PUP at sa UST, pero sa UST ay medyo mahal ang tuition fee. So sa PUP ako nagtuloy bilang mechanical engineering student. Well, maganda yung pag-aaral ko sa PUP, wala kang problema. Pero ang gusto ko talaga ay mathematics. Kaya lumipat ako ng pag-aaral sa mathematics nang hindi alam ng mga magulang ko nung sumunod na semestre. Siyempre, gusto mo pumunta ng UP. Akala ko, kaya ko makatransfer ng UP, pero ang number of units lang ata namin sa PUP noon ata, tila 15 units o 18 units, gano'n. Kulang para makatransfer ako ng UP. Nobyembre na, wala pa akong papasukan. Nagtatrabaho ako sa opisina ng tito ko. Kailangan ko bumili minsan ng mga materyales sa eskolta. Nakita ko yung Fiati University. Nagtanong ako na meron ba silang mathematics program. So sa madaling salita, napayagan akong pumasok sa Fiati. Maganda naman yung naging pagtuturo, pag-aaral ko doon. Well, pero meron akong fraternity doon. Parang honor society yata yung fraternity na salihan namin. And I am proud to say na ang first grand advisor namin ay si Gregorio Y. Sara. Isa sa mga paborito kong physicist na Pilipino yun. So, nangyari na hindi lang pala siya konektado sa Fiati, kundi essentially brad pa namin siya. A good researcher, kailangan hindi siya takot magkamali. Kailangan determinado siya at madali siyang makakuha ng insights sa mga observations na nakikita niya. Kasi kung ikaw ay researcher na ay mo magkakamali, mahirapan ka. Kasi sa pagkakamali lang tayo mas maraming natututunan. Dapat magiging meticuloso ka para pag alam mo na mali ka, alam mo na mali ka. Meron kang intellectual honesty na tinatawag. Pag talagang mali, mali. Pero hindi ka dapat titigil pagka mali. Hanap ka ng paraan, hanap siya dapat ng paraan kung paano ito magiging tama. Kung ngayon, kung hindi siya pwedeng maging tama, bakit siya naging mali? In my part, as a theoretical computer scientist, kung yung problem, wala akong makitaan na magandang solusyon, magandang algorithm para doon, kailangan kong patunayan na hindi talaga siya mag-i-exist. Pero kung hindi ko mapatunayan na hindi siya nag-i-exist, siguro at least makakuha ka ng some small instances that it may work. Ngayon, kung talagang wala pa rin, then you might look at another domain, for example, or improvise another kind of computing model or method to do it. So bottom line, kung nagkamali ka bilang researcher, huwag kang titigil. So yun ang pinaka gusto ko na isang karakteristik ng isang magaling na researcher. So if you can count that as failure, then so that ganun yung ginagawa ko. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Kung nagkamali, mali yung proof, gawin mo yung bago. Ganun. Kung alam mong tama, patunayan mo na tama. So if what happened to me can be considered as a failure, then that's how I overcome it as I go around it. Try lang. Kaya, hindi ako nakapasa sa Pisay nung una, hindi ako nakapasa sa UP. Yun nga lang, pinalad ako nung ako natapos na ng aking bachelor's degree sa Fiati, pinayagan na nila akong mag-aral sa UP. And then, napatunayan ko na kaya naman pala din. Kaya naman pala. So, huwag ka lang susuko, huwag ka lang panghihinaan ng loob. Ganon din ang nagiging prinsipyo ko kasi pag ako nagagawa ng research, magsosolve ng problem, pag hindi ko na-solve, may learning din ako doon. Ibig sabihin, hindi tama yung method na ginagawa ko. O kaya talagang mahirap yung problem. Kasi pag nasagot ko lang, yung gusto kong itanong, ay yung tinatanong ko, at yung aking hula ay tumama, na-validate lang na tama yung ginagawa ko. Kung mahirap ang ginagawa, tuloy-tuloy lang. Kung hindi ka pumasa, meron bang ibang paraan? Tuloy mo lang. Kung gusto mo talagang mangyari, huwag mong hayaang mangyari. Don't let things happen. Make it happen. I am Henry Adorna. This is my story and I share.
We now have with us our featured researchers, Dr. Landon A. Ocampo and Dr. Henry Adorna. Magandang araw po, Drs. Ocampo and Adorna. Alam po ninyo, talagang nakaka-mind blown ang kwento ninyong dalawa mula childhood hanggang sa inyong careers. And I'm sure our viewers in Zoom and Facebook want to ask their questions to pick your minds for some tips or advice. Guys, just type your questions in the chat and we'll ask them to our experts. Or, if you're shy, i-PM nyo lang sa account namin and we'll keep your identity secret. Dr. Landon, we'll start with you. Sir Landon, what are you working on right now?
Yeah, good morning sa lahat sa Facebook Live. Good morning. That's a good question. We have several projects right now, and these projects range from tourism, education. Then we have also something related to risk analysis, disaster risk. And then we have also projects related to sustainability. So we have currently a project funded by the NRCP on trying to come up with a sort of a computational toolbox that will try to measure the sustainability of some ecotourism some ecotourism communities in the country. And then we have also funded projects by CHED, okay, on developing a program that will advance the capability of computing human resource in the country. And then several projects that we are currently doing with some faculty members in our university and some faculty members in neighboring universities. These are projects that are with huge societal impact, and the underlying notion is that we are trying to build some computational approaches that will solve these domain problems.
Thank you, Doc Landon. Sir Henry, kayo naman po.
Hi.
Sir Henry, paano po kami hindi mai-intimidate sa complex math concepts?
Well, kailangan kong tanggapin ng katotohanan na ang halos lahat ng tao pag sinabing mathematics, intimidated, no? Ang isa sa katwiran, isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit magiging intimidated ang mga tao dito ay dahil sa paraan kung paano tayo tinuruan ng mathematics. Pero dapat, ang masasabi ko, para hindi kayo ma-intimidate sa pag-aaral ng mga mathematics o complex na mga mathematics na sinasabi, kailangan nyo lang manamnam kung ano talaga yung nais nyong gawain. Well, merong isang nais makita. Palagi nagsisimula ito sa definitions. Kung ano yung definitions na ibinigay. Ba, meron kayong papel na binabasa at itong papel na to ay masyadong komplikado. Well, pero ikaw naman ay merong kaalamang konti sa mathematics. So para hindi ka masyado ma-intimidate, basahin itong seemingly mathematical paper, kailangan naintindihan mo yung definitions. Kasi ang mathematics, nagsisimula lang lahat yan sa definitions at mga assumptions. At yung susunod ay pinagtagni-tagni na lang yung mga idea na ito. So, mahirap kong sabihin sa lahat talaga kung paano. Kasi mahirap magpaliwanag sa mga tao na antimano, meron na sila sa isip na intimidated na sila sa mathematics. Pero kailangan tanggapin na hindi ganun dapat ang pananaw. Hindi ganun sana. Pero kung ang talagang nais ay maintindihan yung binabasa, no? Mathematical concepts, kailangan tayong magsimula sa pag-intindi at paggagap ng kung ano yung mga definitions na ginagamit. And all the rest must fall into places.
Thank you, Sir Henry. Kayo naman po, Doc Landon, ano pong masasabi niyo dito?
Kagaya ng sinabi ni Sir Henry. Yeah. I think the most effective way on how to deal with it is that first you should have a formal background in terms of a formal master's degree or a formal BS degree on that, and then from there you will start to think about like from my perspective, because I'm into the a more applications oriented spectrum of mathematics. I think Sir Henry is on the more theoretical side, but in my case, I'm in when there's a mathematical concept. Let's say, for example, there's a some sort of a decision making platform. I'll try to ask myself, how can this platform be used to understand other platforms or other fields? And then from there, I'm trying to we'll try to dissect the limitations and the strengths of the platform, so that you can like marry the weaknesses of one platform to another platform, or marry the strengths rather, so that you can have a more powerful tool to understand certain problems.
Maraming salamat po. Susunod na tanong naman. Sir Henry, ang angas po niyo, ano po ang go-to guitar song niyo?
Ewan mo angas. Medyo ang mga tinutug na nais ko na matugtog ay yung mga, kasi nabuhay ako nung panahon ng 80s, 90s, so may mga tipong indie bands, ganun, mga kanta ng intro voice, meron akong ginagawa na tinutugtog na ganun. Meron din yung basta yung 80s new waves, mga ganun, mga kanta ng ibang kanta ng After Image. So, may mga strangherong may mga foreign songs din na iba. So, mga ganong klase, mga simple lang naman. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung angas eh.
Thank you, Sir Henry.
Natapat lang na humahaba ang buhok ko.
Okay. Sir Landon, kayo naman po. What is your advice for researchers looking for funding? Sir, ulitin ko po. What is your advice for researchers looking for funding, especially sa mga bagong researchers na nahihirapan makakuha ng project or research fund?
Okay, I think as I'm always saying with my colleagues here in our university, I think the crucial thing in my experience, the crucial starting point of being a researcher is a good graduate program, or a good graduate degree. Meaning you are pursuing because a graduate program is para siyang OJT, diba? When you graduate a PhD or you graduate your master's program, you are actually graduating from your OJT. And if you have a not so good OJT, not so good hands-on experience of being a researcher, I think that would have huge impact the rest of your career. and then secondly, there should be a good mentor. In my case, I'm just lucky enough that Sir Raymond Tan and all some good professors de La Salle are within my within my reach at that time, and they provide me good insights on being a researcher. And then third is that when it comes to funding, I think in kasi in my case, I started doing first research and publications before I apply for funding. This may not be true to other disciplines because but I understand that some disciplines, particularly in the engineering, they require some huge amount of money to fund a research project. But in my case, like in the computational and mathematical domains, you just need to have some creative minds on solving a problem and then publishing your way on how to solve the problem. So in my case, I got an accumulated like 50 to 7 before I applied for my first funded project. And my experience, and this is what I learned. If you have a good publication track record, because at one point, if your paper got rejection notice from reviewers and then from journal editors, diba? It's part of your portfolio on learning how to do things and how to report your paper and how to report your research work. So you will have a good understanding on research, and you have a good understanding on what those mga details on writing, on doing research works, yung mga details na magano. And these things, these insights, these learnings will be somehow part of your portfolio in writing your project proposals. So sa akin kasi, if you have a good experience in writing and reporting your work through journal publications, yung pag-write ng mga research proposals, yung mga project proposals, parang para sa akin mas madali na lang yun. So you start with writing and publishing papers. Then once you have that momento, then you can write your project proposals.
Thank you, Sir Landon. Maiba naman tayo. Saan po ang favorite triathlon venue ninyo?
There are several places in the country where you can enjoy swimming, biking, and running. In my experience, I think because I just started my triathlon journey in 2019. So and then there's a lockdown, so some events were canceled and some events were postponed, and some Ironman events that I was able to register in 2019 were moved to later dates, and so I just participated like 3 triathlon events, and I think the Dumaguete Triathlon, which just recently held, it was just recently held as one for the books, because they have a good like a festive community for triathlons, and all people there are so welcoming. They are warm welcome to this kind of events.
Ito, usapang puso naman for both of you. Has love in any way affect the momentum of success in your career in research?
Ata sasagot na una, ano? Has
Yes,
love
sir.
in any way affect momentum? We have to define what we mean by love. No? Pagka sinabi mo na yung love, something that you have in high school, so yung mga ganong klaseng tipong love, well, I will lie pag sinabi ko na hindi kahit paano, no? Kasi pagka medyo hindi maganda yung relationship mo during that time, medyo mahirap gumawa ng problem set. Mahirap makaprove ng mga bagay. Pero, well, in general, depende. Pero kung yung sasabihin mo naman na love ay yung love sa family and so on, certainly it affects. Yung unang love, it's constant. Hindi masyado, ano yun, apektado. Pero pag sinabi mo yung love of the family, that's another story. I only have one family. So I prioritize them. That's one of the reasons why I finished my master's in mathematics in 6 years.
Thank you, sir.
And
Kayo naman po, Doc
therefore,
Landon.
Yeah, that's really an intriguing question. But I think one word that I can share is that um, diba, like anything we do, a good support from your loved ones and particularly from your partner is really is really very crucial in your research career. Maybe you can do it by yourself, and that's okay. But I think things will be a lot easier if your partner has all the support on you, and I think that's an support and respect. I got to experience uh, the two sides of the spectrum, and I can differentiate that if your partner and people surrounding you have that respect and have that support to whatever you would like to do in your life, whether in research or in triathlons or in any other aspect of your life, I think that would make a huge difference.
No man is an island, ika nga. Ito po, panghuling tanong na lang po sa session natin ngayon. What are your tips for those looking for scholarship opportunities? Doc Landon.
Okay. I think sa lahat ng mga degree programs na nakuha ko, aside from my Masters in Mathematics, Master of Science in Mathematics, I think they are all funded by the government. Starting with my BS, funded by the DOST undergraduate program, and then the Masters and the PhD funded by the DOST ERDP. And I think you should have my advice for those who are looking for scholarships is that you should have a good understanding on what you would like to do in your life, because if you have that thing, if you want really to pursue a research career and a like a stepping board of a research career is a good graduate program and good masters and good PhD, then you should have a good understanding on what you would like to do. Second is that you should seek for a good institution. We have several good institutions in the country. We have UP, we have also Ateneo, LaSalle, and all other universities in the country where they are offering discipline-specific expertise na mga graduate programs. So you should, I think, kasi my philosophy is that if we solve the graduate program in the country, if we can improve the graduate education in the country, we are actually solving half of the problem on research productivity. So I think, good institution, and then third is that make sure that institution has the faculty or has your potential advisor where you can lend support, you can where where you can can take inspiration, and then those faculty members and those teachers and those potential advisors are also producing research publications, projects, so on and so forth. So once we have these things, then I think you will be on a good a better track on your research career.
Kayo naman po, Sir Henry.
Ay, maraming salamat. Ano yung tips for looking for scholarship opportunities? Una, kung ikaw ay from high school going to undergrad, maraming pwedeng makita. The first thing you have to do is to ask the guidance counselor assigned in the school. Alam nila kung saan. And then they also know yung requirements. So pag kukuha ka ng scholarship, siguro dapat nakabasa, sabi nga ni Bay, kailangan ibasta mo ang iyong sarili to that scholarship, no? To that endeavor. So kailangan preparado ka, ang mga naaral mo ay sapat at tama para dun sa pag-aaral na pipiliin mo. Kasi ang scholarship, nahandyan yan, karaniwan, government scholarship, marami yan. So you have to ask. Kailangan mo lang magtanong minsan. Pagka from high school to bachelor's degree to the university degree. And then kung ikaw naman ay bachelor's degree holder ka na, may undergrad degree ka na, pag kukuha ka ng scholarship, you have a lot of opportunities also. Sinabi na ni Bay, meron siyang ERDT scholarship before. Marami pa rin sa DOST, marami. PCASTART before, ano na ba ngayon? Shared na ata ngayon, wala nang PCASTART. During our time, it's PCASTART. So meron mga scholarship diyan sa government. At meron ding mga private schools na nagbibigay ng scholarship from private sponsors, donors. All you have to do is to ask question and ask the right person to be asked. And I mean, you go to the guidance counselor or whatever, kung ano man naka-assign sa scholarship. And another thing, if you want to go outside the Philippines, so abroad, first thing you might want to do is you have to realize kung ano talaga gusto mong aralin, no? Kung halimbawa, kagaya ko, gusto ko mag-aral ng mathematics, kuha ko ng degree ng mathematics sa ibang bansa, halimbawa, graduate programs sa ibang bansa, and I have to look for the scholarships. Yung scholarship will be, information on scholarships can be obtained. During our time, we have to go to the embassy. We have to go to British Council, we have to go to Thomas Jefferson's, you have to go to some other libraries from foreign countries. Doon magtatanong kayo, meron silang academic attaché. Doon sa Alliance de France din ata, meron mga ganun. So those where you can find them. And then meron silang advisor about it. And they can tell you what. So, and then for another thing, if you want to go to PhD or so, there are scholarship from outside, from abroad. Ang experience ko sa Europe, so you have to ask. Ang ginawa ko nun dati, I have to email professor to precisely that I want to work with him. So love nila. Ganyan yung gusto ko and so on. And then sometimes, that professor recommended me to a scholarship. It's called the AADI. Then I went to his lab. So ganun bagay. You need to look for it. No? You don't let things happen. You make it happen. But these things are all there. Maraming opportunities. Kahit dito lang sa Philippines, maraming makukuha. We only just have to ask them. Then you will be able to have those scholarships if you want to. But kaya nga sinasabi natin nga, sabi nga diba, you have to be prepared. Kasi pag kumuha ka ng scholarship, it's a responsibility not only to yourself but to the donor and to the discipline itself. Ganun siguro. Bottom line, make things happen. Don't let them happen. Thanks.
Maraming salamat po. Our Zoom viewers have posted a lot of questions sa ating chat. Pero, unfortunately, we'll have to end our questions here. We have now with us the Executive Director of the National Research Council of the Philippines, Doc Mayet Sumagaysay. Doc Mayet, I can't wait to hear your story of inspiration and research sa ating next na episode.
Okay, thank you, Neo. My dear iShare participants, Today, we heard another pair of inspirations, so real, so motivational, and so genuinely told as personal stories. Thank you, Dr. Henry Adorna and Dr. Landon Ocampo, both 2019 NRCP Achievement Awardees. Dr. Adorna for Mathematical Sciences and Dr. Ocampo for Engineering and Industrial Research. Thank you to both of you for letting us into your world where inspirations from family, teachers, nature, childhood games, and the adversities in life made you achievers that others may not have thought of while you were kids. But deep inside your hearts and dreams, you knew what you wanted to become. Congratulations, and we salute you as scientist role models whom our young students and budding researchers can emulate. Yes, we heard your wonderful stories, and let me quote some of the phrases in the video, which I am sure will inspire everyone to become Filipino scientists like you in the future. Dr. Adorna said, good researchers ay hindi takot magkamali. Kailangan determinado siya at makakuha ng insights from observations around him. Sinabi niya, sa pagkakamali, marami tayong matutunan. Alamin mo bakit mali. At kung nagkamali ka bilang researcher, try another method. Kung tama, ituloy. Huwag susuko, huwag panghihinaan ng loob. And sinabi niya ulit kanina sa question and answer, don't let things happen. Make things happen. So agree na agree po ako doon, Doc Henry. And nakaka-relate din ako. Dr. Ocampo also said, if there is one person who can lift me from the poor situation, it must be me. There will be many rejections, but there will be as many successes. Sinabi rin niya, if you only have passion and motivation without the consistency to get going, you just have to start from scratch. The challenge is to transform potentials into scientific productivity. And then he ended with when he said, the only hindrance to success is you. Agree din ako dito. And I also come from the province, and I have experienced some of this that were experienced by our role models. iShare will continue to bring the personal stories of scientists and achievers to the awareness of the young. Scientists are not just in your books as authors. They are men and women who are with us in our daily grind, just as they are focused daily in their labs and their mentoring of students in their labs. Dr. Adorna established the Algorithm and Complexity Laboratory, while Dr. Ocampo established the Center for Applied Mathematics and Operations Research. They both produce new knowledge. They both have mentees. They both persevered, and their passion to do research never waned. It seems that failures and difficulties simply fired their passion and determination to succeed. We also thank their teachers who discovered their potentials when they were in their elementary grades. So for the teachers in this virtual room, let this iShare also be an inspiration for you to really know your students and keep them inspired by you. That inspiration may change lives, a career-defining turning point, the way it happened with our scientists in iShare today. We also give appreciation to school administrators who are quick to observe potentials of budding researchers and giving them the prompt support and the enabling environment for them to pursue their scientific careers. We saw that in the experiences of Doc Henry and Doc Landon. On this note, please join me in thanking and congratulating Dr. Henry Adorna and Dr. Landon Ocampo. We also thank our virtual participants who listened to our science storytellers and hope that one or two or more have been inspired today. And I say as we end, maginhawa ang bukas sa siyensya at kultura. Godspeed to all. Back to you, Neo.
Maraming salamat po, Doc Mayet. With that, we end to this episode of iShare. Isang malaking shoutout sa lahat ng mga Pinoy students na kasalukuyang nag-iisip kung ano ang ipupursu sa kanilang college course and career. Our stories today show that if you pursue your passions na may kasamang hard work, creativity at tapang, malayo ang mararating mo. Doc Landon and Doc Henry, thank you for sharing your stories. From all of us here at the National Research Council of the Philippines, ako po si J. Mar Garcia. Magkita-kita po tayo ulit sa May 30 para sa susunod na episode ng iShare.